All right, so President Bio gets an interview where he gets with a particular journalist, and NCSF admits this question choke am. And I think this now question actually we get a deeper thought. Yeah, it get a deeper thought. And these are some of the technical places, like I can always tell Sierra Leoneans, them say the level at which your politics they go to Sierra Leone, there are certain things we need for the take notice of them. The reason why we need for the take notice of them things there is that some talk there, you say I say it's small, but it has a great meaning. It has a deep meaning. So this journalist asked President Bio question, say President Bio be overthrown during the 11 years of civil war. If in coup where is set up, if that was a good coup, now President Bio breathe. A breathe. I say, well, that is one of the most difficult questions for all. But for him, I think it was a good coup. Because when they make a read this thing to man. Now the reason why he mentioned why he says it's a good coup. Because the government them for we did it for up to 30 years, you know, they be just on the rule, blah blah blah, because the government will be done did it for up to how many years. You know, things will go wrong. They don't withhold democracy. They know they do things right. Even the army, they don't support what they forget. They know they support the army. Blah 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 blah. Explain, and not to that even shock me. He even explain why make you overthrow your own boss. You understand? Say because if you want for try for protect democracy, since in boss where they take power, and boss we want let them pull uniform and let them conduct fake election. Fake election, you understand? He says so for that day, you want to restore democracy back, now make you overthrow the boss for make sure say they give power to the people. And he said even when they do the fight, he said nobody not help them. They not even get ammunitions, but they just fight to the last blood. He said people when they say they want a senseless war. People go to bush because they can't take it anymore. Listen up. Because they can't take it anymore, and so President Bio say. You understand? Before we continue this topic, you can understand when I watch the video, we'll be right back.
You were the president, you were an army brigadier, and going back a long period in the 1990s, you were involved in 2 coups. In 1996, you became the military head of state. But, I'm going to say it before you say it, you became military head of state, and then you called elections. So, my question to you, are there good coups?
I think this is the most difficult question I've had to answer. Yes. Let's put it into context. We had just come out of the bipolar war. The whole world was in a state of flux. The governments that were there, we had a one-party state that had refused any form of democratic tenets or principles. Nearly for 30 years, every democratic attempt to change that government had failed. There was mass corruption with impunity. They had caused such carnage as far as the management of the country is concerned, to the point that we had a war. Some members, that was why I said, sometimes they say it's senseless, but people just got tired and went to the bush. We were young soldiers. We were sent to the front to fight. And yet, we didn't have the wherewithal. But at the same time, what was meant for us at the war front was being squandered in the city. So, I mean, when you send somebody to the war front, you must give him or her the wherewithal. So, we believed at the time that we have a government that has caused this war and yet was benefiting from the war at the expense of our own lives. We thought it was a genuine reason for us to come and remove that and bring about democracy. And that was what we did.
So you say there can be good coups. In Gabon, the ruler Ali Bongo was deposed. He's ruled that country for as long as I've been alive, and a lot of the population seemed to support what happened in Gabon. Was the coup in Gabon a good coup?
I will not describe it as a good coup. I have described mine, the one I took part in, that I'm fully knowledgeable about, as a good coup, because one, we kept to our timetable, and even when some members of our particular of us wanted to change, I stood up and said, if you're saying there was a second coup, because some members wanted to renege and wanted us to continue as to change our uniform and be the true leaders by just conducting a fake election. I said to them, no, we came to reform, and we have done what we can. We have to conduct a democratic election and give and hand over power to a duly elected government. That was how I had to remove my boss, just so that we can have democracy. So when you look at bad governance to the extent that it can cause war and divide and cause poverty and misery, I think should not be accepted as democratic governance. When you have authoritarian governments being supported sometimes by the West, I think that is not good too. Democracy is the rule of the people, and therefore they should enjoy from that. And that is why we thought that it was necessary. Everything, and nobody was coming to our aid. We were there suffering, we were there at the war front, we did not have ammunition, we did not cause the war, and yet we are supposed to put our lives on the line for a government that was not good for itself.
Let's turn the page and talk about how the whole world interacts with Africa. The United Nations back in 2015 set up something called the Sustainable Development Goals. 17 goals to try and improve all of humanity. We're well behind on all of those targets as things stand. The slogan at the time was "Nobody left behind." In countries like Sierra Leone, do you still feel left behind?
After all, I don't watch out. President Bio say people gonna bush for 11 years because they know they handle anymore the situation within the country. Things were undemocratic. The government just be the rule the way they want. People are deprived. Then they violate human rights, blah, 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 blah. And it was a good thing. Okay, that's fine. So how about if we ask President Bio now, say, waiting if you do so, you understand, to that government because they were undemocratic. What if he not do good work? Or what if himself, you understand, you understand, the military try to look at and say, bribe, dip and chap. What he be do to that Brian that was a Lord one to you? Do you think that will be cool? Do you think it will be a good coup? Well, I actually think say if the military system now, because now una they complain, because if they complain now, I will just establish the government. Now una they complain say, oh, see why don't I? Sometimes they even say, oh, more they don't pay money. Why not they talk about China? They in the country, oh, job not there, oh, freedom of this, oh, freedom of that. Now they ask you now. If the military system as you are now say they overthrow President Bio because things are not going right, do you think it will be a good coup? Because he say overthrow because things were not happening right. People say it was 11 years of senseless war, but they're going to push because they can't handle it. And the situation in Sierra Leone right now, most people are saying they can't handle it. That's a big question I'm asking you guys. And he even mentioned, say, even then the soldier man they were deprived. Check about the military and the police today. They are not well paid, my brother. If you like, block me because I don't tell you the truth. But the soldier man when they not checkpoint, I'm not saying the big brother because they go away for tea. The soldier man and police when they not checkpoint, they work on daily basis, my brother, they are not well paid. They are not well paid though. Salon the way you talk the truth and they hunt you like way arata. They like way push the hunt arata. So now I may ask this question. What if the military or the people of Sierra Leone try for say again they overthrow you because things are not happening well? I'm just asking a question because from what he said they do overthrow because things were not happening well. Sierra Leone can no more handle it. They wanted to restore democracy. They wanted to restore the people's freedom. That's a question because